Dejanay Carrington and Marina Mabrey just got a dose of their own medicine.
Carrington takes it all the way.
Is Kennedy Carter. That looks like it hurts.
But let's rewind a bit, because this wasn't just a physical play, it felt like karma in motion. This was the moment justice caught up with Dejanay Carrington and Marina Mabrey for what they did to Caitlin Clark earlier in the season. Think back to Game 1 of the first-round playoff clash between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. Just 90 seconds in, Carrington poked Clark in the eye. The rookie phenom hit the floor in obvious pain, and this wasn't some incidental contact. The foul was blatant. Carrington's hand made direct contact with Clark's face, leaving her shaken and clearly injured.
With no whistle. Now there's nothing.
But what followed was even more unsettling. Carrington had the audacity to laugh, sharing a moment of mockery with teammate Marina Mabrey, as if Clark's pain were the punchline of an inside joke. And this wasn't an isolated incident. Just weeks later, Carrington doubled down, this time on Instagram Live with her girlfriend and Fever teammate, Nalissa Smith. Grinning, she mockingly reenacted the now infamous eye poke, turning a painful moment into a punchline for her audience.
Ow! You poked me in the eye.
Maybe it was meant to be playful, but to Caitlin Clark's fans, it felt like a slap in the face. It was a clear reminder that Carrington's actions on the court weren't just heat-of-the-moment accidents, they were deliberate. And as if that wasn't enough, Marina Mabrey poured fuel on the fire. Just days after Carrington's eye poke, Mabrey delivered a brutal hit to Clark's face while going up for a block in Game 2.
Touches the basketball. That's what Burton did there. All over Caitlin.
The severity of the hit was undeniable. You could see it clearly in the stills. Even the commentator couldn't stay silent, exclaiming, "That's a foul," in disbelief that the referees let such a blatant, borderline flagrant move slide. Outraged fans flooded social media, slamming the lack of accountability. Many pointed out that had this happened in the NBA, it would have been called a flagrant without hesitation. But as the saying goes, what goes around comes around. Fast forward to Game 2 of the semifinals, Dejanay Carrington was charging to the basket, eyes on the rim, but Kayla McBride had other plans. In a moment that felt like pure poetic justice, McBride met her with a hard foul, sending Carrington crashing to the
Steal, Carrington takes it all the way.
It was a thunderous hit, so jarring that the crowd collectively gasped, and for a heartbeat, the arena seemed frozen in time. Carrington, who had mocked Caitlin Clark just weeks earlier, now found herself on the receiving end of a punishing foul. Justice, it seemed, had finally arrived, but the reckoning wasn't over yet. Moments later, Marina Mabrey, Carrington's partner in controversy, met her own moment of reckoning. While trying to defend Kayla McBride, she caught a sharp elbow that made the entire crowd wince. Mabrey hit the floor hard and lingered there, clearly shaken. For many fans, it felt like karma was doing its work, delivering payback for the pain she had helped inflict on Clark. And karma wasn't finished with her. In a later matchup, Mabrey found herself in yet another rough exchange, this time with Chicago Sky guard Chindy Carter. Known for her fierce play, Carter didn't pull any punches, delivering a hard smack that once again left Mabrey on the
Is Kennedy Carter. It looks like it hurt.
Mabrey stayed down, clearly shaken, as Chindy Carter was hit with a flagrant foul for the smack. For Caitlin Clark's fans, it wasn't just another foul, it was a moment of redemption. Mabrey, who had seemingly escaped consequences after her earlier hit on Clark, was now facing her own reckoning. There's a difference between a mistake and getting away with it. That's why these moments mattered. They weren't just about physical plays or basketball, they were about Justice Clark, the rookie sensation who had endured her share of cheap shots and blatant disrespect, was no longer in the playoffs, but her presence lingered. The echoes of what she endured still rang through the postseason. And as Carrington and Mabrey absorbed their share of hard fouls, it felt like the basketball gods were evening the score. They might have thought they got away with it, but karma had other plans. Now, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect, because how could we not? Even though her rookie campaign with the Indiana Fever ended in a first-round exit, she sent shockwaves through the WNBA. Electrifying, unapologetic, and wildly entertaining, she didn't just play, she captivated. Her final game drew a staggering 2.5 million viewers. That's not just good, it's historic. In one season, she turned WNBA games into primetime, must-see events, then suddenly, she was out. Cue the sad trombone. Without Clark, something felt off. The playoffs lost a bit of their spark, like a burger without the patty. Sure, it's still a meal, but it's not hitting the same. Case in point, Game 1 of the WNBA Finals between the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty pulled in 1.1 million viewers. Solid, sure. But a sharp drop from the Clark-fueled frenzy that came just weeks before. Had the fever made it further? No question, those numbers would have soared. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. She wasn't just a talented rookie, she was a cultural force. She brought energy, edge, and a new storyline to the league. And as her fans watched Carrington and Mabry hit the floor, they couldn't help but feel like justice was being served, one hard foul at a time.
The WNBA saw a boom like we have never seen. We saw Caitlin Clark come into the league. We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans who flooded to the WNBA, and many of those were there for Caitlin Clark.
I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the offseason, is just trying to get stronger and really working on that, and really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me, and we were in here consistently. Like, I think that was the biggest thing for myself, is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger, and I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it, and it's going to help me offensively, it's going to help me defensively, it's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger, and even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it.